This Craftsman Truck Series 2026 Drivers Changes Preview edition of the NASCAR Gambling Podcast here on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog. Underdog is hooking up new customers. Play just $5 and get $75 in bonus funds when you sign up with our promo code RACESGPN.
Drivers, start your engine!
Strap in and pull those belts up tight as the Sports Gambling Podcast Network presents the NASCAR Gambling Podcast.
I'm just gonna put my foot on the floor and I'm not lifting till I see God or a checkered flag.
My man.
With all the news and the best bets for your NASCAR weekend.
We want to thank you tonight for these mighty machines that you brought before us. Thank you for the Dodges and the Toyotas. Thank you for the Fords. Lord, I want to thank you for my smoking hot wife tonight, Lisa. In Jesus' name, boogity, boogity, boogity.
Now, here are your hosts, Rod Villagomez and Cody Zeeb.
Welcome into another episode of the NASCAR Gambling Podcast here on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. He's Cody Zeeb. I'm Rod Villagomez. Happy New Year. I realize we have not talked in 2026 yet. This is the very first conversation we're having as the new year progresses. So Happy New Year, one and all. Hopefully you had a nice, joyous New Year's Eve and enjoyed the first, 5 days of the new year as we turn the page, Cody, on what hopefully is yet another fun and just profitable new year.
Absolutely. Happy New Year, Rod. Welcome to 2026, everybody. Thanks again for riding along with us. It's almost here, Rod. We're just Sterling Marlin days until the Daytona 500. Of course, 40, if you don't know the Coors Light Silver Bullet reference. But yeah, man, I'm excited. It's ever so close. We were just kind of talking about upcoming shows. We've only got basically 3 weeks of off-season content left. And 3 weeks from now, we will be giving bets for the clash at Bowman Gray. So looking forward to it.
Racing picks, actual race picks to be had here in a couple of weeks. Cannot wait for that. I have been just so impatiently waiting for the season to start so we can actually start rolling out our pick shows, because as much as we enjoy the off season and our chance to kind of catch our breath a little bit and escape from the weekly grind of it all, look, when the flow gets in it, Cody, right? When the weekly flow gets interrupted, it's definitely difficult to back off of the gas. And, you know, when it's like, all right, race, evaluate the odds, and then do the show, and then do it all over again the next week. It's just, yeah, it's hard to come down from that.
It is. And you know, we've had, luckily, you know, fantasy football. I play in a ton of leagues and stuff, so that's been keeping me busy here lately, but that's all done. I mean, not all done. There's playoff stuff going on, right? But yeah, I mean, football season's winding down. We've only got so many games left. The college season has 3 games left. You know, the pros are into the playoffs. So I'm jonesing for some racing betting. I was in a fully legal state in Colorado this past weekend, Rod. We've got partially legal here, I guess. You can do it at the casino, but you can't do it on your traditional apps, your DraftKings, your FanDuels, or whatever. But right at your fingertips there, very nice. Nebraska should consider doing that as well. But yeah, just, you know, looking through the odds and I play a couple of futures out there. I was telling you before the show, I got my New England Patriots to win the Super Bowl, parlayed with Carson Hocevar to win the Daytona 500 bet out there. So yeah, I had a good time.
I told you to just Venmo me that money because that would have been much better used as buying me beer for the new year. So that's all right. That's all right. We'll watch it all play out and have some fun with that as well. You can too, along with everything else that's going on. Cody just talked about it. There's football still going on, college football still going on, all kinds of stuff. And the Sports Gambling Podcast Network has it all for you, and you can get access to all of it. Free picks, podcasts in one convenient place. It's the SGPN app. Go download it for free right now in your app store. Just type in those 4 friendly letters, SGPN. All right, so we're here to talk NASCAR. We're going to talk today about it's funny because we talked about the Cup Series driver changes. It feels like forever ago. And we were just talking about before we got on. It's like, well, we were able to take some time off of this because we had the IndyCar stuff, we had the Formula One stuff, but we've ran dry of that, and we don't have a whole lot of other stuff. No other odds, no other preseason odds for NASCAR. So we'll get back to breaking down the driver changes because there are few and far between in the Truck Series, but they're impactful. That is for sure, and they will definitely be shaping our betting cards as we head into this new season. So we'll talk about the Craftsman Truck Series driver changes for the 2026 season. But there's a huge change already, not just a driver change, but a commissioner change at the top of the... now listen, color me surprised that this happened, but I'm not really surprised that this happened, right?
Didn't he just get this title like this past year?
He did.
We finally get a commissioner in NASCAR, and now he's gone. But not really shocking, as you mentioned. NASCAR Commissioner Steve Phelps has resigned. Obviously, this comes a month after a contentious antitrust lawsuit trial. All the stuff about that. Obviously, you know about the text messages. You know about all that stuff. So he's been with NASCAR since 2005, and he'll have this role until the end of the month, I guess, which puts him right up until the Clash. But, one of those things that's like, it's probably better for you to move on, and we've mutually agreed to part ways, Rod. So, he's done. He's gone. Not too surprising. I think we all figured at least one head would roll. His was kind of the most obvious head, right? I think Steve O'Donnell has probably saved his stuff for now, right? And he's a little bit more of a in the public eye. People seem to like him. But I still think there's time for Jim France to step down. He's the other one I'd want to see step down and call it quits. Guy's 100 years old anyways, so go ahead and retire and move out of the way. But we'll see. I don't know if that'll happen or not, but I think it's a good positive step. Obviously, I think that with everything that came out through that trial and through all that stuff, somebody was going to have to go, and he was kind of the guy that we assumed would be the one.
I mean, we had talked about it as it was going on. It was nasty. It was not pleasurable for anybody in the sport, let alone the fans having to sort of sift through what to take away from it all. And unfortunately, commissioners, head coaches, general managers, like these are the guys, right? And if you want to even go in kind of military terms, right, the generals at the top, these are the guys that get the blame for everything underneath. And he didn't help his case very much either with some of the things that he said. But
can you imagine, Rod? Can you imagine just going home to your wife and being like, well, honey, this great really job that I have that makes a lot of money. Yeah, you remember those text messages I sent? Yeah, about that. We're gonna be looking for something else to do. So that cash cow is gonna stop for now. I'm sure that's going really well for him.
Well, and I'm not really all that worried about where he's going to end up. I just these folks at the top that.
I think he'll be able to feed his family probably.
I'm not too worried about Mr. Phelps.
And a mutual parting of ways, quote unquote. I'm sure there's a package that comes with that to hopefully help him land on his feet and stay out of the homeless shelter.
That parachute is so golden. There's K-pop demon hunters all around it. So, I'm not worried about Mr. Phelps at all. But yeah, that's kind of big news because now obviously they talked about the duties being spread across a bunch of different people, and that's sort of commonplace too. If you don't have another successor in place, it's like, all right, fine. We'll divvy up the responsibilities.
Oh, we can get rid of this really expensive salary and just give everybody else a little something extra to do without paying anybody more.
Sounds familiar. Sounds familiar.
Sounds like everybody's employers right now.
So, but I guess that raises the question, Cody. They did it, right? They gave in and gave everybody a commissioner. Obviously, that didn't work out the way they expected it to. But do they have another commissioner? And if so, who do you think it's going to be?
Yeah, I don't know. This is kind of weird because, you assume Ben Kennedy kind of takes the role that Jim France has at some point where he's the president, the CEO, right? Is he also the commissioner? Do they decide to put somebody else in that role? Have they decided looking at it, maybe this just wasn't a great idea. Maybe we don't really need a quote unquote commissioner. Not really much change from whatever his title was previously, like still doing the same thing. So I don't know. We'll see. I guess if maybe once things cool off, maybe it is the Steve O'Donnell type gets thrust into that role. Maybe they do, Kennedy just, I don't know if you want to make him president, CEO, and commissioner. That seems like a lot of power. But hey, if there's a guy I'm going to give power to, what's Dale Earnhardt Jr. doing, Rod? Can he be the commissioner in NASCAR?
You know what's funny? I don't know that he would. The fans would love it, right? And
Yeah,
I
don't think he wants the job.
I don't think he wants that's such a thankless job because you've seen, that's the thing, right? You've seen popular figures from the sport turn into front office folks, and immediately people hate them just right off the bat, right? It's just because they assume a different role in that team, and you're sort of bred as a sports fan to hate the system. You hate the commissioners, you hate the GMs, you hate these guys, right? Because they symbolize everything that's unholy with the sport. And if your favorite icon, let's take Michael Jordan, for example, right? Michael Jordan becomes an owner, and then all of a sudden people are like, oh, you're taking the sport to court, blah, 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 I hate you. There was a few of that. Many more loved him still, but, it turned you into a villain faster than anything I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, sadly, I don't think we'll get Dale Jr., but that's my nominee.
Hey, listen, I can tweet him and say, hey, Dale, there's a job opening listed on NASCAR.com. It's for commissioner. You probably should drop your resume. You might be on the short list to take this job.
Yeah, I feel like if he wanted that, he probably would have it.
Yeah, do you think he'd have to interview, though?
Probably not. I mean, I guess you probably have conversations. I don't know that it's I don't think he's like preparing an interview. I think they're just like, hey, Dale, do you want this? It might have already been a text message sent like, hey, do you want to be the commissioner? And he said no, and then that was the end of it.
Let's see. It says your name is Dale Earnhardt Jr.
What's your ties to NASCAR? What do you know about the sport, sir?
Where do you see this sport in 5 years? I'd like to know your vision statement for this.
I know that you've done more for the sport than anybody else in the history of the entire sport over the last few years. But how do you think you could carry NASCAR going forward?
I'll bet that idea book is already overflowing with ideas. But you're right. I'm sure Dale is like, nope, I'm good behind the microphone talking about all this stuff, and we won't even worry about the rest of it. So, all right. Anything happened while we were gone as well?
I don't think so. It's been pretty quiet. It's we're kind of in that spot where we're sort of waiting, right? And I guess maybe this is kind of the first shoe. We drop this news, get it out there, and then we can maybe turn around and quickly flush the news cycle and move on, right? So maybe now, we drop this on a Tuesday, maybe Thursday, Wednesday, Thursday here. We just go ahead and drop with the I always forget what I want to term it as because it's not necessarily a playoff format if it's not playoffs, but the championship format. That's what I was looking for. Maybe we'll drop that soon because that's what we're kind of waiting on for everything. And I think that's kind of the holding pattern. We're with the books here. Very, very lack of odds compared to previous off seasons, which is really unfortunate. And I think a lot of that's related to waiting on what this championship format is and kind of where it puts emphasis on and types of things. So I will hope that very soon they will be giving us that format and then odds will follow.
I am hoping for the same. I'm sure all of you guys will be as well. All right. Craftsman Truck Series, they've got some changes. We'll talk about all those in a second, but let me tell you about our friends over at Kalshi. We just partnered up with Kalshi, a real money prediction market legal in all 50 states, yes, even yours. In all 50 states, you can trade tons of markets, including sports, NFL, college football, college basketball, NBA, NHL, and so much more. Plus, you can even trade props like first TDs. Besides sports, they got a ton of other markets, including politics, entertainment, hell. You can even trade the weather with Kalshi. You can trade absolutely anything your little heart desires. I just brought up Golden just a second ago. Well, Kalshi is letting you just trade on which songs will be the number one on the Billboard Hot 100 in January. Yes, Golden is up there. K-Pop Demon Hunters, a $10 investment will return $91 for you. The yes is at 11 cents. The no is at 92. So heavy on the yes. Golden is going to be up there as one of the Billboard Hot 100 songs in January because nobody can get enough of the K-Pop Demon Hunters. New Kalshi customers get $20 when they use promo code SGPN. That's Kalshi, Kalshi, promo code SGPN. Let's introduce you formally to our friends over at Underdog Fantasy. Underdog is your home for pick'em entries where you can win up to 5,000 times your entry. Underdog has you covered this holiday season with Underdog Unwrapped. You'll unwrap tons of promos all throughout the holidays. Love Underdog. Hey, listen, I loved them so much this weekend because Isaiah Likely was not hitting the higher than all game long. The very last drive, Lamar Jackson uncorks it to Isaiah Likely. And guess who gets his 3-pick slip in there? I'm loving it. I get it. So you guys get Christian McCaffrey this week. Higher than half of a rushing and receiving touchdown against the Philadelphia Eagles. They need to get him back in the end zone to be able to beat the Eagles. They'll do the 49ers. And I'm hoping that he gets across the goal line at least once in this game. Underdog's got a brand new offer for new customers. Play just $5, get $75 in bonus funds when you sign up with our promo code RACE, SGPN.
What crazy timing for you to bring up the Baltimore Ravens, Rod. Breaking news in the NFL world. John Harbaugh has been fired.
What? The dominoes are falling?
Yeah, that's a pretty big domino right there. There's some,
oh my God.
Honestly, there's some really, not to get too much on an NFL tangent, but it's off season, so whatever. There's some really good jobs out there. You look at New York, like the Giants are pretty set up, right? If Dart can stay healthy, he looks like maybe he's got what it takes. They've got a lot of good pieces there.
Scattaboo coming back.
Cardinals, yeah, Scattaboo, Neighbors, like that Wandale, if they keep him around, that offense is set. They've got good pieces in place. New York's a great market if you're good, right? You got to think a guy like Harbaugh takes a look at a job like that. I mean, he's obviously going to be the top coaching name available, and we've seen this before. Andy Reid's of the world and some other guys. You stay somewhere forever, you win, and then things kind of aren't working out, and you move on. And look how that's obviously worked for Andy in Kansas City. But the Arizona job I think is a pretty attractive one. Look at all those, especially again offensive pieces wise, like either Kyler or the number 3 pick. You got Marv Harrison, you got Trey McBride, you got all those people over there. Wilson, who's looked like Jerry Rice this season. So yeah, there's some attractive NFL jobs out there. It's pretty crazy coaching carousel going on right now. Yeah,
it's very strange to know that there will not be John Harbaugh on the Ravens sidelines for the first time since I was a kid. No, I'm just kidding. It's been a while.
Well, shit, just about. Fuck, he's been there forever.
That it has. All right, speaking of changes and roller coasters and merry-go-rounds and revolving doors and things that continue to change, the landscape of the Craftsman Truck Series has changed again this season with drivers departing and with drivers filling those rides. I do want to check in real quick. Marcus has been waiting patiently saying hi. His prediction for 2026 is the same as it's been for all of 2025, that Christopher Bell is going to wipe the floor with everybody, win the Clash, win every single race, and come home with the championship in 2026. Marcus, for your sake, I hope that's true. I want to see you happy this season. So that's it. All right.
Bell's going to be one to beat, Rod. So, look at that. I knew if we said trucks 3 times, Jess would appear, and here she is. Good to see you, Jess. Good afternoon.
Click our heels and say trucks 3 times, and then all of a sudden there she is. All right, so let's just start from the beginning, right? And our good friends at J-Ski have this site going up where you can track silly season news as well, and that's kind of where we're pulling from, as well as all of our vast amounts of knowledge. So let's start where the beginning is. The number 1 truck, full of question marks in this one. Obviously, we know that Brett Cruz pretty much helmed this thing for the final few races, intermixed with William Sawalich in there, Lawless Allen, Brandon Jones, sort of a rotating for Tricon. Feel like that's going to be the same thing this year because we know Cruz is actually full-time in another ride.
Yeah, that's their quote-unquote, all-star truck, and I think it'll continue to be that way. That's where the Toyota guys can pay to play. I think we've seen Christopher Bell drive that one truck a handful of times, Marcus, so maybe we'll see him jump in there. But yeah, that's where they bring up their young guys and get them some opportunities. And we've obviously seen some of them parlay that into other rides. So I think that'll continue to be the case for the number 1 truck. I don't know that we've seen any announcements on who might be driving that throughout the season, but we'll see plenty of different drivers get good opportunities in a good truck.
Yeah, and again, I'm sure that that truck will be out there in all of its glory. So no worries on that. And again, anybody that's in that truck, so we bring this right back to odds as we talk about the betting aspect of it. Anybody in that truck is essentially somebody to keep your eyes open for, because that one truck, obviously we know Tricon, one of the better teams out there, and that one truck is usually competitive when it is out there. So we'll be keeping an eye on whoever's in that one car. The 02 Young's Motorsports Chevy is unknown, and they don't know if that's even going to happen. So almost feels like a truck not even really worth talking about, because it's not in the mix more often than not.
Yep, that's about all we got.
I mean, Nathan Bird ended up driving this truck for a while, as well as Jason Alexander in some races. Kaden Honeycutt appeared, remember, in Watkins Glen in 2025 in this truck. And then, down the stretch, it was just sort of a back and forth between Nathan Bird, Logan Bearden, Ben Mayer, and Trevor. What is it? Traylon. What was it? Trenton Lapovich?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, there's really just not too much notable in this 02 truck. It's a truck that some different people will get opportunities in. Great to see. Betting purposes, overall racing purposes, not a truck you're going to talk about much outside of, maybe a flyer on a super speedway, depending on who they put in there. That's about it.
That is about it.
Or hey, if Christopher Bell jumps in it, then we'll talk about the truck.
Yeah, we definitely will. No changes at the 5. Tony Bridner comes right back again in that 5 truck for Tricon. I think we talked a little bit about it maybe at the end of last season, our hopes for a better season for Tony, because, again, that Tricon garage is so full that it's hard to break through, and it's hard to be the 6th truck in that garage week in and week out. So yeah, hoping for a better season for her.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, we've seen some stuff, right? We've seen some positives from her, and hopefully she can kind of continue to build on that. I was trying to quickly pull up her kind of results towards the end of the season. I feel like towards the end of the year, I mean, a lot of 20s, right? Basically the entire season, but she had some good runs, a 21st at Las Vegas, 18th at Rockingham, 20th at Kansas, 21st at North Wilkesboro. So those obviously aren't the greatest of betting days. And she's not a driver we talk about much for betting purposes, but when it comes to DFS, she's actually a driver that I use a ton in DFS because she's very cheap. She's in good, reliable equipment, and she is extremely good at getting to the end of the races, right? I don't have her DNFs right in front of me, but there's not a ton of them. She is very good at making sure her truck gets to the end of the day, and you can rely on her to finish upper 20s, basically, and maybe crack the top 20 a little bit here and there for the price you're getting her at. She's definitely one I use a lot in DFS, and when we get the opportunity to talk Truck Series DFS, she's one we bring up quite often. So definitely notable for that reason. I don't know that we'll be betting on her much, right? Maybe a super speedway here or there, that type of thing. But DFS, she's always one to circle.
Yeah, definitely DFS. She's one that's a good value each and every week. Laura checking in saying, howdy, guys. Howdy, Jess.
Hey, Laura.
Fortune. Nick checking in saying, good afternoon. Hot Rod and Sir Sassy Cody. Love the Truck Series overall. So do we. We're big fans.
We do. Truck Series is, oh, man. If you're like a regular NASCAR fan, I guess, quote unquote, that doesn't pay attention to the Truck Series, make that your New Year's resolution. Start to pay attention to the Truck Series this year. Not something you will regret. It's a lot of fun to bet on. Obviously, if you're here, you might be inclined to do so. And then that, of course, makes it a lot of fun. But it's just the Truck Series is really entertaining and always a good time.
Indeed it is. All right, Spire making moves in the Cup Series, bringing Daniel Suarez in. In the Truck Series, though, that number 7 truck will continue to be the all-star truck. And last year it was driven by several different, let's see, Justin Haley was in this, Kyle Busch was in this, Corey Day. Hocevar jumped in there a couple times, Sammy Smith, Kyle Busch. Just that rotating cast of characters in that 7 truck. And that's what it'll be. Again, a lot like the 1, right? That all-star truck is something that we'll keep an eye on when they take the track.
Yeah, and some big names you mentioned there. Obviously, the Hocevars, the Kyle Busches, Justin Haley's of the world. Haley obviously is not going to be in this ride, but I would imagine Daniel Suarez gets some opportunity. I haven't looked too much at the Truck Series, but road course stuff, the great opportunity for a Daniel Suarez to jump in a truck like that, right? Hocevar, obviously, we know how good he is, continues to be the 2026 Daytona 500 champion, of course, Rod. So, yeah, it's I think we'll see a lot of the same drivers, honestly, in this truck, continuing to get those opportunities. And it will probably be a truck we talk about quite often when it comes to being near the top of the odds board or trucks we're betting on, especially when Hocevar is racing.
Do you think, though, that Raja Karuth could end up making a start back in there in that 7? Do you think they'd bring him back?
Yeah, absolutely. I think so, because he's obviously moved on to be full-time in the O'Reilly series, Rod.
Put it in the jar. Put it in the jar.
Excuse me. The O'Reilly series, of course, is what I said. He's moved on to be in that full-time, mostly with Junior Motorsports, splitting up a little bit of the rides over there. But, yeah, I think this would be a great opportunity for him to come back. We'll see sometimes when those guys move up a series like that, and obviously he's kind of had to piece together some stuff to make it a full year. So maybe they don't have any extra funding to go back to the truck series. And sometimes they want to just focus on the series they're a rookie in. So we'll see, but certainly could be a guy that jumps back down into this. And, and you got Mr. H there. He's not afraid to throw HendrickCars.com on a truck and go out and run a race.
He threw it a lot on the 7 last season anyways, too. So, all right. In the 9 truck, it is still Grant Enfinger in that CR7 Motorsports Chevy. It's Grant Enfinger, man. We're going to be talking about him a ton in the upcoming season.
Week in, week out contender. Any type of track, any style of track, he's always going to be a contender, and he is a championship contender. I'll be very interested to see where his championship odds are this year without a Corey Heim in the mix, without a Carson Hocevar in the mix. We've had some changes here over the last couple of years, lost some of those guys. Grant Enfinger remains one of those consistents that's always there. He's always in the mix. He's a guy we'll talk about week in and week out. And, another season in this truck. They've obviously, got this program humming in a really good way. So expect another great season out of Enfinger, and I think he'll be competing for the title.
I think so as well. One of the biggest announcements heading into this season was the reintroduction of the Dodge Ram into the Truck Series. So, with that in mind, Colleague answered the bell and said, we will take on the Ram program. We will be the marquee name in the Dodge garage. And as such, they're bringing back Daniel Dye to drive the number 10 Colleague Dodge Ram. Exciting for a couple of different reasons, right? We know that Daniel Dye kind of got up there to the O'Reilly series, which was the Xfinity series back then. Great camera operator up there, but we certainly missed him in the Truck Series. He gets to come back now. He gets to be part of the marquee Dodge Ram. Again, I expect great camera work out of his truck again this year, but how much do we expect from him on the track, and how often do you think we'll be talking about him?
Nobody's more excited about this than Michael Waltrip, who will get to commentate his illegitimate son once again racing in the Truck Series. We know how much he loves Daniel Dye. We definitely saw some positive, great things out of Daniel Dye in the Truck Series a couple of years ago. Not a guy we could bet on a ton at the Xfinity at the time. Obviously, O'Reilly now, right, as we very well know, series. But, going back and looking, he had some good runs, like 6th place at Texas. So, a 9th place at North Wilkesboro, a 2nd place at Nashville, 8th at Richmond, 8th at Milwaukee. So already I'm thinking shorter tracks maybe here. We're going to have some opportunities, but 9th at Kansas, 7th at Miami. So he was a guy that was contending consistently in the top 10. Obviously, we don't get top 10 odds for the Truck Series generally. Maybe this is the year that breaks through. But a guy we'll be able to look at occasionally for some top 5s. Maybe he gets that first career win this year, Rod. I don't know if I want to go that far, but when it comes to Dodge, obviously, new to the series. Once again, they've been in the series previous times. But how do we kind of expect them to look, right? And Colleague expanding into the Truck Series, kind of a new team when it comes to that. But Colleague's been around, their experience. They have a lot of experienced guys as we continue to get through this lineup of their drivers. A lot of experienced guys in these things. And the other thing is that all of the Truck Series runs Ilmor engines. So Chevy doesn't have an engine, Ford doesn't have an engine, Dodge doesn't have an engine. So there's no difference. They're just going to be Ilmor engines like every other truck out there. Dodge is sinking a ton of money into this program. So I fully expect these Dodge trucks in the Colleague camp here or Ram trucks as you were, right, to fully compete right away. I don't think that we're going to see much of a adjustment or acclimation period because these teams already kind of know what they're doing. A lot of the people involved know what they're doing when it comes to racing. The engines are going to be the same as everybody else. You don't have to worry about that part of things. And the body don't look that much different than the other ones, to be honest with you. So I don't think there's going to be much of a problem for Dodge just jumping up and getting rolling right away with these Ram trucks.
Because in the modern day of NASCAR, though, it doesn't. There's really not a whole lot. I mean, when you're talking about the difference between a Chevy and a Ford body, it's just like, okay, that means this turns up a little bit, or this is a little bit there, but like this is a little more rounded. Not like the old days when like legit Chargers were out there with,
right, and yeah, even. Like the engines, a Chevy and a Ford engine in the Cup Series, I don't think are that much different, right? I think, yes, each manufacturer makes their own, but they're all within certain specs and stuff. And so, but here you don't even have that, right? Dodge doesn't have to try and stuff out. Like, it's just sell more engines. So that part of it is they don't have to worry about it. And I think they're going to hit the ground running. Ram is sinking a fuck ton of money. They're going to have 5 trucks full time this year, Rod. So and this is how they do it. This is what they did when they came back into the sport. In 2001, they went all in, and that's what they're doing again here. So not surprising to see, and I think they're going to be just fine. And I think Dye will be just fine as well.
No Hemi? What? I don't. This not the same Hemi. They said it. They said a Hemi would be.
They are bringing the Hemi back, Rod, but just for your street trucks.
Damn, that sucks. All right. One of the bigger changes of the sport, along with the reintroduction of Ram, comes up next. And we'll cover that after the break.
Might be the biggest one, Ron.
Absolutely the biggest one. Want to know what that is? Stick around for just a second, because I'm going to tell you about our friends over at Novig. We're also brought to you by Novig. Novig is America's #1 sports prediction market. With Novig, you are getting the absolute best prices on just about everything you want. Do not believe me? Well, Novig is carrying the football games for this weekend, as we just talked about. You can get the San Francisco 49ers plus 4.5 against the Philadelphia Eagles right now. How about you find that at, I just lost it, at minus 101. Oh, just about even money for the Niners to cover a 4.5 point spread. Hell to the yeah. I will take that and then some, because I believe my Niners are on a mission to prove that they can win with their 4th, 5th, and 6th string people out there. Go download the Novig app. Get $50 when you spend $5 if you use our promo code SGPN. Get in on the action with Novig, promo code SGPN. Rhythm has absolutely crushed it all season long. In the NFL, especially on props, they've been really good at identifying when to fade players and take those unders. College basketball is up and running, and with 300 more schools, Rhythm has predictions for every single game, every single night, which pairs nicely with the daily TCE shows with Matt Colby and Noah every game. You are prepared. Super easy to sign up, run predictions off the house model, or make your own and play with the sliders. With so many sports and the holidays still going, I know it's all over, but it's still going. It makes it easier to get an elite prediction on a game so I can focus on other sports. Speaking of that Niners game, Brian Robinson, Christian McCaffrey's backup, which you could almost not really even say backup because he's still been doing great work by himself. Rhythm's given us an over on this one, over 13.5 rushing yards, 89% hit rate on the over. So that is a definite great thing. He's only ever just done it once within the last several games. He's been over on just about every single game, 13.5, other than last week with Seattle. So big time for Brian Robinson. Get him into the 20-yard range. Use promo code SGPN25 when you download the Rhythm app for 25% off of your first month. Download Rhythm and use promo code SGPN25. Yes, I play favorites this time of the year. I don't care. 49ers going all the way, baby. And yes, Laura knows it exactly.
I'm looking forward to the Patriots 49ers Super Bowl, Rod. That's going to be really great for the show because, that's going to be a couple of fun weeks if both of our teams can make the Super Bowl. And honestly, I feel like we've got 2 of the better teams. I did, if you're interested, for those of you listening out there, sportsgamblingpodcast.com, I did drop Sunday night after that game my entire playoffs completely mapped out. I picked every game coming up this weekend, slid everybody up into the divisional round, right, and into the championship games and the Super Bowl. Your 49ers, it sucks they got the Eagles first round because I have big future on the Niners. I got a 40-1 sitting on them, but I don't love the first round matchup. I had them bounced then, unfortunately, Rod, but I would love to see them in the Super Bowl against the Patriots.
I'm not scared against the Eagles. I mean, as long as they can stop Saquon, right? And the Niners have been really good at stopping. Well, they haven't been good at stopping anything lately, but they were good at stopping the run earlier. They need to get back to that. Is all there is to it. All right,
there you go.
I teased it just before the break. You guys are here for it. the number 11 truck, formerly occupied by formerly occupied by Corey Heim, no longer. And Corey Heim is now sitting on the end of a freeway with a sign that says, "We'll drive for your team." But Kaden Honeycutt slides into the number 11 truck, probably the most prestigious truck on the track right now. And look, we talked a lot about Kaden Honeycutt as the season came to a close last year, right? Getting bounced from his ride, knowing full well he was about to head to Toyota anyways. Stuart Friesen took pity on him and said, all right, well, my ride's empty, so you can drive the 52. Damn near won a championship. So now that he's in a championship level truck, Cody, how often are we just gonna have to get a little sound button here that says Kaden Honeycutt every time the race comes up?
It might be. I mean, it's definitely going to be interesting. Obviously, you're stepping into big shoes here, right? This is a truck that's been dominant for a couple of years with Corey Heim and what he was able to do in it. Do I think Kaden Honeycutt steps in and does what Corey Heim did right away? I do not think that. But, this was worst kept secret last year. They went out and got their guy ahead of time, right? And that's why Chevrolet let him go. It was kind of all kept under wraps. It was weird. The Friesen incident happened. That just kind of worked out perfectly in everybody's favor to be able to slide him into that truck, finish the year with Toyota, get his feet wet in a Toyota camp. So, this is a big move, right? This is the top truck, you would say, in the series. We'll see what Caden can do with it. He's been a solid driver, not necessarily lighting the world on fire, but there's a lot of talent there. He's been a young up-and-comer, so you're getting your chance at the big times, boy. So let's see what you can do with it for sure. But he's going to be a guy we're going to be talking about quite a bit. I'd imagine he'll be near the top of the board when the odds come out for the championship. And he'll probably be a guy we talk about quite often being in the mix for winning Truck Series races.
And it felt a little like it came out of nowhere too, because it felt like we were talking about, and then all of a sudden it was like, well, Kaden Honeycutt now entering the mix, and then the odds weren't adjusted for that yet. And then, of course, as the season progressed, the book started to catch up, and we're like, oh, we probably shouldn't be pricing Kaden Honeycutt like he was early season Kaden Honeycutt, because he's coming on pretty strong. And I feel like this year, obviously, we're not going to get the same sort of value that we got out of Kaden Honeycutt earlier in his career, but I feel like the books may not be onto it completely yet, and may still give us a little bit of an edge to begin the season.
Name value isn't there, so it will be interesting to see where he is when the odds do come out. Scott Zipadelli is going to stay there as the chief. That is huge. Zipadelli is he has so much experience, and obviously what he's done with Corey Heim over the last couple of years, that's huge for Honeycutt. I'd feel not as good for Honeycutt if somebody else was taking over that, just because Zip has been so good for the ride these past couple of years. So, the bar's set pretty high. The expectations are going to be there. Can he deliver is the question, and I think that he'll have a solid season.
Kind of don't want to talk about him too much more, because I don't want the books to have a lot of ammo against him, because I know they listen. So
just go back and delete all that stuff and
right.
Pretend nobody heard it.
I'm about to edit everything from Kaden Honeycutt. He sucks. He's not good. He's not going to be very good at all in this 11 truck. He's going to tank it. So, there you go, books. That's what you hear. That's what we want you to hear.
That's right.
All right. Let's move on to a driver that Cody is absolutely thrilled to see get a chance into Dodge Ram, and that's Brendan Queen, Butterbean Queen, driving the number 12 for Colleague, part of the 5-car stable that is Dodge. So, I mean, look, we saw what he did last season. You're super pumped about him getting the opportunity to do this again. So what do we take from this?
Yeah, I love this opportunity. He's a guy that's, he's been around in the late model ranks for quite some time. So he's not necessarily a young up-and-comer, but finally getting his opportunity, right? We saw it in a couple of starts last year. Nothing over, didn't crazy overperform, right? 20th and 9th, the 36th, 35th, 19th. Those were his 5 starts. Not crazy, although Martins really did lead 19 laps in there, had a good run going, but ended up with a bad finish. But yeah, I'm excited about this. He's been a guy tearing it up in the late model ranks. So that means we're going to be looking at him when it comes to the shorter, flatter tracks, right? The Martinsville types of tracks. Those are the places we're going to be taking a long shot top 5 on him. Stepping into one of these Ram rides. Again, I think that these trucks are going to hit the running and be competitive right away. So he's got the Cummins sponsorship, of course, for a Dodge product there, which is a pretty sweet looking truck. I posted that in the Discord earlier today, sg.pn/Discord. make sure you check it out there or over on X. Of course, you can see it as well. But yeah, pretty looking truck, and I have pretty decent expectations. I don't want to set too high of expectations, right? He's only got 5 starts under his belt, so we'll have to give him some time to work into it. But he'll be a guy I'm targeting early when we go to these shorter, flatter tracks, trying to catch him before the books catch on.
Yeah, because he did drive the one truck in 3 races 2 seasons ago, and then was a occupant of that 07/7 truck last year. So he got the 2 starts in the Spire truck. And again, we talked about it earlier when we talked about these Spire rides. They're given to people that are going to compete.
It would probably help if I was looking at the right tab, because I was looking at the O'Reilly Auto Parts tab, bro.
Oh, you're good. You're good. No, but listen, he still rode up there, right? And he still ran okay. But yeah, in the Truck Series, he did have that 10th place finish at Martinsville late in the season. So
I thought the results were better than what I was looking at. 4th place at North Wilkesboro a couple of years ago. We had the top 5 on that. That was his first career start. So he hit the ground running in the Truck Series. Yeah, that makes a ton more sense. So thanks for that, Rob.
You're welcome. I am here for you, my friend, if nothing else. But yeah, Brendan Queen going to be somebody, especially for top 5s, because that it seems like a place where he can live, especially if these Dodge Rams are as fast as we hope for. So, yeah, just chalk us up for Brendan Queen in the fan club. No change in the 13 ThorSport. Jake Garcia still going to be piloting that one. It is what it is at this point. We know that Garcia had a pretty decent season last year, so stands to reason he'll continue to have a pretty decent season this year. But I don't know it taught,
If you remember a couple of years ago, I was very, very high on Jake Garcia. I had like championship tickets on. Like I was like, oh, this kid is the next coming, right? And then, well, we didn't really see it. And then the beginning of last year, it was kind of the same story, but things changed. Well, I guess, I don't know. Things changed, I guess, more at the beginning of last year and then tailed off a bit. But he had some really good runs to start the year last year. I mean, he had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 top 10s in the first 6 races. And then I guess it did tail off a little bit at the end, but 6th place at Phoenix to end the year. Pretty solid season overall from Jake Garcia, though. So he's a guy I'm very, very interested to see. He's in a ThorSport truck. We know that these trucks are good, right? They are capable of winning championships. Could be the year that Jake Garcia takes that big turn towards the positive route.
Finished 10th in the standings last year, so we'll see. Again, ThorSport, along with Tricon, these two are the bigger teams in there, right? And now with Majeski moving to the 88 and, Matt Crafton gone, there's a whole lot of shuffling going on there as well. We'll talk about that later in the episode. 14 for Colleague becomes their all-star truck, their all-star entry. 14, that's going to be where we see who, though? Do we see Tony Stern?
So this is the one. This is the one where I think we're going to get this show that they're supposedly producing, and somebody's going to win this ride. So potentially we get multiple drivers. Potentially it's a full-time one driver. We don't know yet, but they've recorded some reality type show to earn this ride. So TBD. We'll see what this one looks like, I guess. But there's also only so many drivers out there that don't have rides at this point. So it's like. Why are we still waiting? If we have this show done, let's get it out there so we can watch it. It's the offseason with not a lot of content going on, so.
Oh, this is where the winner of America's Got Talent gets to drive this, right? Or Love Island.
I think it's American Idol. The winner of American Idol gets to drive the number 14 Ram truck next year.
The winner of 90 Days Amish gets to drive this truck as well.
That one.
That'd be fantastic. I would watch every race that driver is in. All right, speaking of watching every race, I mean, I watch them anyways, so might as well be more entertained while we do it. Tanner Gray back in the 15. This is your boy. He's going to be back in the Tricon garage. And how high are you on him?
Yeah, I love him. I don't have super high expectations, right? I don't think he's going to go out and win the championship. I just don't think that Tanner is that type of driver, but I think he's a great driver. I think we're going to have a lot of opportunities to bet on him for top 5 long shot stuff. Maybe able to get an occasional long shot win where he can step up and grab one. And that's just what he's become. I think that's what he's going to continue to be. I'm glad he's staying in the same spot and giving us an opportunity to keep using him. He'll be a DFS guy on a nearly weekly basis. And we'll throw out those betting darts when necessary.
He did, though. He had those spots, right? If there was top 10s out there for the Truck Series, he would be a staple of a top 10 bet every single week. So, Books, if you're listening, we would like the top 10 markets for trucks this year.
Yes, we would.
All right, 16 for Colleague Racing, one of the bigger moves as well. Again, the moves that the Truck Series has made are some pretty huge moves, right? It's not like ho-hum. These are some blockbuster moves. Not just being a Ram truck now, but having Justin Haley back into the Truck Series to drive the number 16 Dodge Ram. We know Haley's time with the Cup Series came to an end, and he came all the way back down to be one of the pioneers of the Ram return. And yeah, I mean, I feel like this is a really good opportunity for him to John Hunter Nemechek his way back in, to climb his way back up to the Cup Series on Sundays.
Yeah, you said it. That's exactly what I was going to bring up. We saw this with John Nemechek a few years ago. Things didn't quite work out in the Cup Series. You bounce back to the Truck Series and try to fight your way back up there. I think he's the lead driver at Call. Like, honestly, he's the guy with the most experience. He's the guy who's been there, done that. I don't know that Haley has a ton of Truck Series starts under his belt. We've seen him in the Xfinity Series, O'Reilly Series now, plenty of times, right? And obviously in the Cup Series, but I would expect him to be one of the leading championship contenders this year. There's no reason, being a Cup driver for as many years as he was, which has been quite a few, even has a Cup Series win under his belt, right? Justin Haley should come out, lead the charge with this program, and spearhead Ram being in the sport and be a week-to-week contender to win, and one of the guys, if not the guy, to beat in the championship race.
Yeah, and that's kind of a big name for them. I'm sure they were really excited because obviously, you know, Justin Haley drove for Colleague in the Cup Series, and so it wasn't like they were unfamiliar with his body of work and his talent. They just knew that obviously the Cup Series was not going to be a good fit this coming year. Craftsman Truck Series, he does have 3 wins. That 2018 season was his best. 3 wins, 9 top 5s, 18 top 10s, on his way to 3rd place overall in the Truck Series. So, again, Justin Haley has had success with Mark Gallagher in the 24, and he's going to try to bring that to the 16.
Yeah, and looking back, like that's kind of what you'd expect out of him, is that 2018 season. That's really his last, like he made a couple starts last year and in 2020, but that was his full-time season where he had those wins, really good runs, finished 3rd place in the final standings. That's the Justin Haley we should immediately get, if not better version, because now he's an even more experienced. That's 2018. I mean, that's quite a few years ago, obviously, at this point. He's got the Xfinity's experience since then, and he's got the Cup Series experience since then. So, Justin Haley, there's no reason that he shouldn't hit the ground running in this truck and be a leading candidate each and every single week.
He also occupied the 7 in the 07 for Spire last year, getting a 5th place at Daytona and 11th place at Las Vegas. So, yep, definitely a name we will talk about several times over as we come up to the 2026 season. Along with this guy right here in the 17 truck, Gio Ruggiero. Man, we really heralded his coming as he started to come of age, and I feel like this is going to be so, Cody, we talked about it a couple of years ago, and maybe even last season as well, where the tier of drivers at the top was very, very small, right? You had Corey Heim, you had Lane Riggs, and pretty much, a couple people here and there. This year, though, I feel like there's going to be so many people fighting for the championship that it's not even funny. This is going to be the most competitive truck season, I feel like, in a very long time.
Yeah, I think that it's very wide open, right? Without the Zane Smiths of the world, without the John Nemecheks of the world, without the Corey Heims of the world, the Carson Hosevars, all gone. There's a lot of very good drivers, right? The Justin Haley we just talked about. You've got the front row guys. You've got the ThorSport guys, the Ty Majeskis and Ben Rhodes that have won championships. And you've got some really good young guys up and coming. You throw this Ram program in there, that's going to shake some stuff up. This is going to be a very exciting season. And yeah, Gio, I mean, he really turned it around that June before we went into that long break, right? 3rd at Lime Rock, 3rd at Watkins Glen, 6th at Richmond, 2nd at Daytona, 3rd at the Roval, 4th at New Hampshire. He won at Talladega. Some really, really good runs to end the season. And that was, he's pretty young in his career here. So he definitely, I mean, maybe, all eyes are going to be on that 11 truck. Maybe that's not the truck to watch at Tricon as much as this truck is with Gio. We saw the 17 truck be good with Taylor Gray previously. Gio jumped in and had a great first season in it, and I expect him to kind of continue to roll and build on that and be a name we talk about quite often.
Yeah, he finished 11th in the standings overall. Like you said, the 11 top 10 finishes, 7 top 5 finishes. He came on and really turned our heads around. And, he's still a kid, still an absolute kid, and the talent's going to continue.
And only finished 11th because he just didn't quite make the playoffs, right? It was only 10 in the Truck Series, and that was before he really got things going. If he'd have, put the full body of work together and had a full season championship or whatever, it would have been better than 11th. He just missed out on the playoffs due to not getting late or hot until later on, but very strong season for Ruggiero.
I say kid, he's 21 years old, but I mean, look, at this point, everybody's a kid to me. So, all right, let's turn our attention to Tyler Ankrum in the number 18, who will be returning. Guy I'm going to be talking about a lot. I might as well just go ahead and get my sound pad ready to just say Tyler Ankrum, because you're going to hear it a lot from me.
Yeah, that's really, you're the Tyler Ankrum expert, Rod, so I will defer all thoughts and everything to you because, you really had your thumb on the Ankrum pulse last year. You knew when he was going to be good. You knew when he wasn't going to be good, and I think you'll probably continue to do that this year. I think it'll be a lot of the same from Ankrum, and that's probably a good thing.
Finished 4th in the standings last year, 8 top 5s, 15 top 10s, and that win. Average finish of 10.8 for Tyler Ankrum. Again, if we had top 10s, I'd hammer the hell out of those for Tyler Ankrum. That 19 McAnally Hilgeman truck, Daniel Hemric going to be returning again for that one. Daniel Hemric figured to be somebody we should have been really heralding by the end of the year. Ended up finishing 9th. He had 10 top 5 finishes, 15 top 10s, and that win. But boy, it just felt like a disappointing end of the season.
It felt so disappointing. The playoffs just didn't go his way, right? Things just went horribly once the playoffs started, and he got eliminated early on there, and just ended the season. 33rd, 31st, and 34th were his final finishes. So really bad end to the year, but we had the flashes. Certainly, we got the win early, and it was like, okay, here we go. Because if you remember, in his Xfinity days, right, he wins the championship. That was his first ever win, and he'd never won anything else since or before or anything. Kind of lucked into the Martinsville win. Heim dominates, late chaos. He's in the right place at the right time. Gets the win, but we didn't get any other wins out of him, which was a little bit sad after seeing what Eckes did in that truck the year previous. But another Cup Series guy turned down into the Truck Series. He's going to be a guy you're going to be able to rely on a pretty much week-to-week basis. And a guy I think we'll be talking about quite a bit. And again, as we just keep going through this lineup, this is a loaded Truck Series in 2026, Rod. I'm pumped for this series.
Well, and like I said, 10 top 5 finishes for him. And obviously there's not that many races in the Truck Series, right? There's only 25. So if you're finishing in just about half of them inside of the top 5, you're a top 5 consideration each and every week. So, yeah, we're going to be talking about him quite a bit. All right, let's talk about the number 22. Let's do 2 more, and then we'll do a part 2 to this one. This is why
I'd say let's wrap it up let's wrap it up here and do a part 2 because the Truck Series is low. Man, that's why I love episodes like this. It's like you knew all these guys were going to the Truck Series and all these changes were taking place, but sitting down and going through it, I'm getting even more hyped for this Truck Series season because this is a loaded field, and it's not, like you said, not overly top heavy with the Heims, the Smiths of the world. It's spread out with a lot of really, really good truck drivers.
Okay, well, let's put a pin in it here. If we have to do a part 3, then we'll do a part 3 on Thursday. We'll carry it over. It's
I have faith, Rod. We can get it done tomorrow. But yeah, there's plenty of guys worth talking about. We've barely scratched the surface, and a lot of guys I'm really excited for this season. So, yeah, I think we'll pick it up tomorrow. We will pick it up tomorrow with the number 22 truck in Josh Ream. So if you want to hear all about that, come back tomorrow. In the meantime, though, Cody, let's send everybody on their way to have a pleasant day, whatever day it is that you listen to this, and come back and listen to more. Absolutely. Yeah, excited to do it again tomorrow. Follow me over on the X at Husker_Z. You can find all of my stuff over there. There is a lot of it, especially football stuff. I know the season's winding down, but playoff best ball strategies. I got an article for Sports Gambling Podcast out. I've got like I mentioned, the NFL playoff picks all the way through the Super Bowl. And then college football stuff for this weekend. All sorts of stuff just continuing to roll out. So check it all out at Husker_Z, sportsgamblingpodcast.com. Appreciate it. See you guys tomorrow.
Follow me on Twitter at RJ Villagomez. You can find everything that I am up to, all my musings, and the entire side of the Rare Earth album that is Get Ready. You can check out some of that as well. All right. Yes, Jess, this is all for you. A whole week of trucks. I hope you enjoy it, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.
It's truck week, baby.
It's truck week, baby. All right. We'll see you guys tomorrow with more trucks, and until then, let's make NASCAR betting fun again. Let's go racing and let it ride.